welcome to the Partnership Publishing Podcast. I'm here today with our latest debut author under Magic Mouse Books, Linda Bowler. Welcome, Linda. How are you?
Welcome. Yes, thank you for your welcome. Thank you for the opportunity. Yeah, really excited.
You're welcome. It's an absolute pleasure that we're finally able to have this conversation today. It's been a long time coming, and it's all to do with your new book that's out now called Ollie the Honest Owl. And for those that can see right now, I'm holding it up to the camera so you can get a good look at the beautiful illustrations, the front and back cover, and a little sneak peek at the insides as well. It's a children's picture book called Ollie the Honest Owl, written by Linda, and it has been illustrated by a lovely lady called Katie Clark. So how does it feel to have your book in your hands now and really real?
Amazing, absolutely amazing. It's a dream come true over about 4 years of trying and persevering and nearly giving up. But yeah, absolutely amazing. And the response to it from family, grandchildren has been lovely.
Oh, incredible. I know, you kind of touched on there. You mentioned the journey that you've been on. When did you start? When did you begin your writing journey, and how have you found the journey?
Well, I was always telling stories to my children and grandchildren, and they used to say, "Tell me a made-up story." There were lots of things in my head, and my husband used to say, "You need to write those down." But it was only when my mother passed away and we found some writings of hers from the war, and she tried to get them published but never did. So I thought, oh, I really need to do this in honour of my mum. And also she'd written from Liverpool to a little village called Marston Mortain, at which I ended up living in. So it was all a bit a goosebump moment. So that was 4 years ago. I decided I'm going to do this. And the writing part was easy. We go walking in the countryside a lot, and I always take a notebook and a pen, and I jotted this story down, and that was the easy bit. Then I didn't know what to do with it.
So, and after this last year of getting to know you and like time, and I did not know that about the synchronicities and you now living in the place where your mum had written to. Incredible. So your writing came quite easy then, in a respect. Within reason, the writing flowed, so the story was there. And how did you find, like you say, not so easy orchestrating it all together? Obviously you tried to find and source illustrators and things, and just in general how to go about publishing. So when was it in the journey that you, I don't know, did you stumble upon us? I can't even remember now how.
Yes, it was I'd submitted it to a few places, and it's really difficult to get the right contract or the right feeling, which I didn't have, and I wasn't particularly happy with the way it was going. And as you say, I was looking for an illustrator. A lady had done some sketches for me, but then through COVID became very poorly. And I was looking for an illustrator, and on the website, on the internet, and your website popped up, and it did. And I, the more I read, the more excited I became, because of the similarities in the way we feel and morals, and I was getting really excited. So I that's when I contacted you, and it has been just the best thing for me. It's been, you've shown me through every step of the way. I had no idea about the publishing process and how involved it was. And
it is,
you just gave me peace of mind that I could trust you and that, you know, everything was going to be okay.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. And likewise, I mean, when we received your initial submission, I remember it so clearly. And you know, sometimes it can take 2 to 3 weeks, you know, to receive a submission, read it, be able to respond effectively. And I remember reading Ollie the Honest Owl, and it was just this beautiful, light-hearted tale. And I know when Katie, our illustrator, had a few illustrators, and I just felt that she would be perfect for it. Was able to read it. She just visually saw the storyboard of your book quite instantly. And I think that was one of the first kind of stages we then started to kind of work with you on, was bring that vision to life through sketch stage. It then became a little bit more detailed, and then colour started to form, and it actually started with the characters, didn't it? It was quite pivotal. I really wanted to make sure that Ollie and that they would just kind of, that you were happy with the style, that to try and create your vision down on paper is quite a task. So how did you find when you saw those illustrations straight away? How did you find that?
It was incredible, really, because it was more or less what I had in my head. If I could draw, I would draw something like that.
Yeah.
And the colours are just perfect, all the subtle colours. And the book itself, it's quite parts of me, really, and parts of my life, because it starts off with Tommy. And when my nephew started school, he cried and cried and cried. And my mum, his gran, gave a handkerchief to him. And he carried that as a part of hair. So I'd remembered that.
Yeah.
And also,
I'm just sharing. For those that can't see, I am just sharing some illustrations.
It is. They're so lovely, and the detail in them, the little handkerchief, you know, the little stars on and everything. It's just beautiful. Yes, and also in the book, I think I had some dyslexic tendencies. Well, still have, really. But in the 60s, they weren't picked up. I often get all words scrambled up, and reading off different coloured papers, you know, really difficult sometimes. And then when I was asked to read out loud in school, I would go sick to my stomach. I would really struggle. And so that I put that in the book as well. And the number of children who have come to me in the school where I work at, because I've read it to them quite a few times, and they say, "Oh, Mrs. Bowler, I feel just like that." And then I say to them, well, you can overcome it. If you really believe in something, you can write your own book maybe one day. So it's been good in that way. Yeah.
Wow. That gives me goosebumps, because it's living proof. It's inspiring. It's so just touching on slightly, maybe share a little bit more with the listeners and viewers about the actual storyline and the story, and what to expect from Ollie the Honest Owl.
Well, it's very dear to my heart, to be honest. I've always told my children and grandchildren that's very, very important. And a lot of schools do values, don't they? And honesty is always at the top of. So I thought, right, this would help children too to realise. And he starts off and he loses his handkerchief, Tommy, and he goes through all the different characters. Which is helpful when I read it, because I bought all the little characters, the lamb and the swan, and so I tell it visually as well, with the characters. And yes, he goes through them all trying to find his handkerchief, and at the end, Ollie has got it, but whether he is honest
or not. Yes. Yeah. And what I absolutely loved when bringing the vision to life, Katie, we start the book with an honesty promise. And that was just a lovely, really sentimental moment. And it's that I promise to be truthful, polite, and kind, but most importantly, to always be honest. And then you can write your name. So instead of that classic "this book belongs to," it's that honesty promise, but you've got your name there. It's yours, and you're kind of prepared, whether it's a parent or a carer or a teacher reading that journey, this story to a child, or them reading it themselves. They're kind of in the zone, and it's without being morally, kind of intense, when reading it, that they must do this or must do that. It isn't. It's extremely subtle, but with little tools and techniques like that to really help just the understanding and the importance, I guess, of it. And that was a nice little moment there.
Definitely, yeah, a moment of inspiration.
Yeah. Yeah, the colours of this beautiful children's picture book are beautiful, but at the same time, you hinted there on your dyslexia and reading, and obviously children have similar, if not the same, issues or challenges that they need to overcome. And so this book, it has been created and designed with easy to read font, with the kind of correct phonically written words as well, and it's always on white, so it's easy to read. It's a nice font size, and that's been obviously purpose made as well for that reason. It's also, it just feels like a hug, doesn't it?
It does, most definitely.
It feels great. And the internal page, everything's wipeable as well for those sticky fingers. So that we have and that we get, and you can wipe it down. There's so many cute moments, as you mentioned, when Tommy is visiting little different characters. Again, for those that can see, there's the little lamb, there's the swan, and the font. Oh, and the pig. The pig is just adorable.
Very cute pig.
Absolutely adorable. So yeah, all in all, it just gives you such a smile. It's such a fun book to read aloud as well. How have you found reading aloud in schools? And you mentioned, obviously, you work in a school, the environment of reading aloud and becoming an author. How's that been for you?
Oh, it's just absolutely thrilling. I did it on World Book Day because the emphasis was on rhyming and poetry. And I didn't have the book as such then, but the PDF file, so I showed it on the big screen and did the characters. And first of all, the children sat very still, which is always good indicator that they're enjoying it. But at the end, the questions were really, I read it to Key Stage 1, which is 5-6-year-olds.
Yeah.
And all the questions at the end were really intelligent questions.
Wow. Yeah.
Who was the illustrator, and did you know her, and where do you write, and really good questions. And then the next day I had at least 3 children come to me and say, "I've written a book, Mrs. Bowler, will you read it?" And they'd stapled it all together, and so, yeah, it was really, I really enjoyed doing this. It was a thrill. Yeah.
Wow. And it's something that obviously your book is available now. It's available in Waterstones, Amazon, different bookshops. It's available. So anyone that's listening or reading Linda's journey and story and feel that, Ollie the Honest Owl is something that they're interested to read, or definitely share with their child or their school, please do get in touch. Contact us via Partnership Publishing website. We can contact Linda on your behalf, and also anybody that thinks that they'd love to get Linda within their school or to do a book reading or a signing. I know we've spoken about that internally, and it's your natural kind of intention with this book is to share it with the world. It's something that you're interested in doing.
Oh, most definitely. I just enjoy being with children, and
Yeah.
to write your own book and to be able to read it is just
Mm.
such a privilege,
Mm.
something that I never thought I would be able to do. And
Mm.
then it's hopefully inspiring for them to go on to achieve what they want to do.
Yeah, massively. It's well, your story is incredibly inspiring. I think, you know, you've done it, and you've written, and you're now an author, and your book's out there in the world. And if anyone else was listening to this and was interested, or thought that they've written a story, or is there any kind of words of wisdom from your experience now, or a moment to say, you know, just do it, or what would your kind of advice be really for
I
any
don't,
budding writer, or
I don't,
illustrator even?
I don't know if they're words of wisdom, and still can't believe that that is me
Yeah.
on the front of that cover. But like I said in the book, at the book dedication bit at the beginning, it says that it's for my grandchildren, which I dearly wanted to leave a legacy for them. And it was inspired by my mother, who, as I explained earlier, when I found those manuscripts of hers, was really thrilling. But it's tough, you know. I believed it was what God wanted me to do. I really did. So I persevered, prayed and prayed and prayed, and it's happened.
Yeah.
So as I said, don't give up. If you want to do it, you can do it.
Yeah. Well, that I believe that they are certainly words of wisdom. It's incredible advice. It's been so lovely to be able to work with you as well. It's been such a refreshing journey for ourselves, and to bring your vision and your characters to life. We begin now. You know, the book's out, so our journey continues. Genuinely, it would be a pleasure to speak with anyone listening who wants to contact Linda. Invite her into your school, be able to read with children, give them that inspiration, the encouragement. I think that's what our purpose is, isn't it? To be able to inspire and educate, and encourage them to write their own stories, and to live honestly. We as adults can even learn a thing or two. So yeah, even when reading. So I think it's just an incredible book. It's been an incredible journey up to this point. It is not over. We're just beginning. And I just wanted to say thank you for sharing your time with us today, and for
My
bringing
pleasure.
this book, Ollie the Honest Owl, out into the world with us. Thank you.
Absolutely my pleasure. Thank you for all your help. Couldn't
Yeah.
have done it without you.
No, thank you. It's an absolute pleasure. Well, thank you all for listening, and we will speak to you, or see you, or be with you again soon for our next conversation coming your way. Thanks ever so much, Linda.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.